Okay, Monday morning in the kingdom, and it's smoky and it's fresh. You can just taste it. Yes, it's fresh forest fire smoke. Yes, it's unreal. And it is smoky today. So this morning we woke up to plus 14, but it's a chilly plus 14 Celsius. It is chilly out here. It's all lies, like my marriage. On the yo-yo scale, plus 57 Fahrenheit. Yes, and it was good reading the comments there. We forgot about the Buick car. The Buick. Yes, the Buicks. They had lots of chrome back then. Yes. All right. So we'll scroll this way first, because when I did my end of the day yesterday, the helicopter or the airplane or whatever, there was a turbine motor at the airport. We don't know if it was an airplane, helicopter, or a Volkswagen Beetle. We don't know. So it was sitting there running, and at 11 p.m. last night is when they officially quit the motor. Yes, so that was 6 hours of motor running, the turbine motor. So I don't know what they were doing. They would rev it up, rev it down, run it long, shut it off, turn it on. I don't know if they were adjusting the carburetor. But you figure it out, that's 6 hours run time. How much fuel did those guys burn? Yeah, just sitting there running it. Making adjustments to the carburetor. My God, 6 hours of aviation fuel or whatever, that would be expensive. Plus, you probably have a crew of 2 or 3 on the ground adjusting the carburetor. That was expensive. Yeah, I just shake my head. But they quit right at 11 o'clock. I don't know, maybe the dream police went up there and told them that the noise bylaw, you have to shut it off at 11 p.m. All right, we'll scroll this way. All right. Look at the smoke. We can't see anything. And Johnny G is safe so far. The fire yesterday about 3 o'clock was 1 kilometer south of Leaf Rapids. Yes, Grief Rapids. But Johnny G was safe. He was okay. And if it gets worse, he's going to have to throw his furniture from his house into a van trailer like that. But he has the reefer units. Yes, so he'll have air conditioning and heat. Yes. Then he'll have to head this way and car camp at Eden Lake. Yes, he'll be reefer camping at Eden Lake, just like we did with the 48 Chevy sedan delivery. So today's a day of, watch and worry about Johnny G and Grief Rapids. If the wind changes, how would you say that community is kissed goodbye? Plus, we figure it'll probably be a week before the road opens to the south, and we can get supplies. Yes, we can get supplies, because the fire is burning in quite a few places down there. All right, or crossing the road. All right, we'll scroll a bit more. I don't know if we should even work today. It's so smoky. Man, I'm going to have sneezing fits and burping fits and everything. The joys of being old. Oh, now I got the burps. I got to cut back on that peanut butter. But at my age, that's the only treat in my life. Yes. All right, one full rotation. We're right back where we started. I'll go walk the dogs. Oh, here comes the boss.
Monday morning in WHO-ville is just after 9 a.m. and as you can see, it's extra smoky out here this morning. There's actually some ash falling from the sky, so let's head inside and let the dogs out. They won't want to be out very long, then I can make breakfast. Not sure what we'll be doing today because it's pretty smoky and it's actually supposed to rain today.
Okay, the smoke is getting worse. I had my morning coffee. I sure wish I could put some vodka in to clear my throat. All right, but let's look at the flags over there. The Monty Python flag of family flag, which is the Maryland state flag, and the USA flag over there. It's blowing that way. So that's not good for Grief Rapids, because Johnny G, that means the fire is coming towards them. Plus, they're still playing around at the airport with that turbine engine. It is the helicopter. So most likely it's not the carburetor settings. It's probably tossing a code out. So these guys are trying to find the code and erase the code. Yes, they're going to need those penguins from Madagascar to help them erase the code. But hopefully they can get flying when the smoke clears off, because we need that helicopter to protect the hydro line south of WHO-ville, because we don't want the poles to burn and then we'd have no hydro. Okay, out behind the house, and there's the tank, the big tank that looks so good with the pipeline. Yes, it's trying to spit rain, but we got a problem. The black tank for the 46 Chevy truck is at the staff's house on that tandem trailer. So he only has an hour and a half of firefighting capacity in the storage tank there with 1,000 gallons. So we have this here as a storage shed, firewood shed, everything like that. So guess what? We're going to make this a tank storage shed. So we'll have to weld the door shut and fix this big hole up here and a few other little incidentals. So this will give her a capacity of 2,600 gallons of storage capacity. which will give her 4.5 hours of sprinkler time. Yes, so let's go to the shop now. Okay, that smoke is bad. It's like Canadian Export A cigarettes, but mother smoked those Demorier king size, so I can tell the difference between the smoke. Yes, I don't even think they make those cigarettes anymore. All right, so we went to storage trailer number 1 again for the walk across the yard and returned back with the stuff we carried back across the yard and would have carried it over there the other day. So we're running out of 2-inch valves. We have an 1.5-inch valve, but that's not good enough. But we have this Victrolix. Yes, we have Victrolix. And look at this fancy valve. I wouldn't want to buy this. This would be a lot of money in today's new world, but I probably acquired it when it was only 20 bucks to buy. All right. So we got the fittings. We need threaded ends, which is here. And where else is here? We got it here somewhere. There, we got it. Yes. All right. So we got female threads here. And we need another one. So this is the water pump 2018 that blew up. There's the pump. There's the bracketry and everything like that. We take a picture. You notice that I printed it in color for others to enjoy. Yeah, right. I'm colorblind, so one color, black and white, is all I printed. There's all the pieces to set up the pump. I think 2000 until 18, I've never replaced that pump, so I think we can use this right here. So we have enough couplers, females, on the tanks only. Enough of this interbreeding, having a male and a female on the tank, and then you have to run around and look for adapters. One thing about this fires we're having right now is we're getting everything, how would you say, same gender. Yes, the tanks all have to be female and the hoses have to be male and female on each end, or when each end. Oh, these lips. I'm trying to do this sober. It's been so long. All right, let's get to work. We'll make some adapter things and then we're not sure what we're doing. Hopefully the smoke clears and we can do some welding. Okay, I'm spending a few minutes in the shop here taking the pieces apart. That's what we don't need. But this is what we need over here, and we need these flanged ends right there. So here's a flanged end for the Victrolix right here, and this fitting I knew would never come apart. So if I put the pipe wrench on, but nope, just do a nice little cut down with the chop saw blade in the grinder with the safety guard. Yes, full safety guard and glasses, gloves, and boots too, and just cut it, and then you just turn it out. Like there was no drama, no pipe wrench needed. In the past, when I was young and foolish, I would be reefing on that pipe wrench and egg this all to crap, and then I'd be screwed. Now I'm working smarter, not harder. Okay, that only took a few minutes. We have everything laid out. This will be on the top of the yellow tank on the side. It's cut at an angle because we can't, that's a tall tank, so the hose will have to, how would you say, come down a bit or whatever. All right, so over here, this will be on the bottom of the tank with the Victrolix valve. I put it this way in the video, so I remember that the handle opens that way. If you put it on the other way, it would, I would say, hit the tank. All right, so these are the pieces ready to go. And then over here, I get to walk all the way back over to trailer 1 to put this back in storage. So in a couple of days from now, I'll carry it all back over to the shop because I'll have another new and improved idea from the boss. He's such an asshole.
11 a.m. and it's trying to rain. As you can see, the ground is pretty wet, but not much has come down. It is extra smoky out here now. You can't even see the trees across the way, so let's head inside and wait for 1 p.m. I don't think we'll be doing much because it's supposed to be smoky and a bit of rain all day long.
Okay, it's trying to rain here. That's just like the wife when she wears a low-cut blouse. Yeah, it's a blouse. I know, we're Canadians. We say blouse and blouse differently than Americans. All right, so that's just like the wife wearing the low-cut blouse. Yeah, it's just all for tease. This rain will do nothing except for anger the fire gods. Yes. All right, switch hands. Look at that. We got this one in front. Over here in the water truck, the hot rod water truck. We tossed an automatic in because we had it. As you can see over here, we made the mounting brackets here for the 2-speed because the 2-speed shifter lever would bolt to the side of the transmission. So over here, we have to do the same thing here for this transmission. We're going to have to make some bracketry over here. But the best part is the battery used to be down under here, and we've now removed it because it's pointless being under the floor. All right, let's go to the shop. Okay, we're now in the shop, and yes, the table is not straight. I live in the land of Dr. Seuss. I seem to do a better job with everything at a crooked angle than if it was level. Yes, if it was level. So everybody should remember these or recognize these. These little leg saddle supports off the tank that's on the wagon that kind of crumpled and bent. All right, so nothing is scrap metal at the end of the world. So now we're going to have to make this mount to here, and then figure out how to get that to stick to the side of the frame of the truck without getting carried away. Also too, I've had this for years, and I think in 2012 or 13 I had to buy this little coggy thing here off of eBay. So these are long-term projects, and we're thinking well in advance because this was cheap on eBay back in the day. Now if I was to buy that in the modern new world we live in, it'd be very pricey. All right, let's see if we can perform some magic, and we're sober, so it should be interesting. Okay, making great progress here. Yes, we're making great progress. It's a good thing we have 3 other trucks outside with this park brake already hooked up, so we know that the piece we bought on eBay long time ago, it was wrong. Yes, it's wrong. This fits in here, this fits in here, and then you need the clevis thing, or the shackle thing, to fit on here. That has to be long because it has to miss this. And then look at the inventory we bought in 2022 or 2020. Okay, there's none in there. Let's see, I marked it. It's 2-speed, everything like that. So we'll get more into those. So we had to go find one over here. And of course the pin was stuck, this was stuck, everything. That is a long one. Can we see that? Let's estimate. And seems how it's we can't use the wood stove for heating. We have to use the Bunsen burner here. Seems how we haven't had oxy acetylene since 2020. The great lockdowns. We're not paying outrageous prices for something we're not really using anymore. It's hard to believe. I used to cut every day in the scrap metal business with oxygen and propane and stuff. And now I'm using the Bunsen burner. All right, let's continue this quest. It's going rather well today, as long as I stay out of the smoke. Okay, late lunch in the kingdom, but we had to finish. Yes, I had to finish. So this piece of material turned out very well. It's pre-bent. Everything's all whacked out of shape, but that's all we need. All right, so we got this figured out. This is the clevis shackle thingy bob, whatever. But we want this to be in the pulled the brake farthest back angle. So there. That's as far as it goes. And you don't bolt this on straight, you bolt it on so this is pointing downward to the rear axle. Yes, I checked it out. All right, so thought was required. Plus anything we did, we cleaned everything in here, buffed it and buffed it and buffed and buffed and made it. And we also chased the threads here because we will be threading a rod in, so we got to make sure it's in good shape. All right, so this turned out rather well, but we had to do it backwards. Yes, because in theory, this side bolts to the transmission of the 4-speed truck transmission. But now we're bolting it to the frame, so we have to make it all this way. So this is changed over, whatever. So we have to do a mirror image. Yes, a mirror image. All right, let's go burn some lunch in the microwave, and then we'll see what we're doing this afternoon. We'll probably just wander around aimlessly lost.
12 p.m. and I'm just getting ready to make lunch. I think I'll just have soup and a sandwich today. I'm not that hungry. As you can see, the smoke has gotten worse. There's a bit of a wind, but not very much. And it's actually kind of chilly out here right now because of all the clouds in the sky, and it's been on and off raining. You can't see it though because of how smoky it is. 1 p.m. and I made it to the kingdom. Looks like we're going to be emptying out this yellow tank shed here and turning it into a water tank. That way I can sit at my house in WHO-ville and my dad can have his black tank and trailer back. So we have to empty out all the wood into a tote and then drag it around to the shop so my dad can weld all the holes shut. .30 and we got the yellow tank shed emptied out. It is all in the tote here. Now my dad's going to take this over to the shop, then he'll come back and hook a chain onto the tank. We'll bring it around to the shop. Got the yellow tank shed moved. Now we'll bring it around to the shop so my dad can do welds on it and fix everything to make sure there's no holes for when we put water in it. got the tank up to the shop so my dad can weld on it. Made sure to put blocks on either end because he has to weld on the bottom of this side here. Now he can get his plates cut and everything to cover all the holes. Well, I'm done in the kingdom for now, so I'll head on back into WHO-ville and let the dogs out. The smoke has picked up a little bit, but it's still pretty heavy here right now, so the dogs won't want to be out very long.
Okay, coffee time in the kingdom, and I figured I'd use the Pro Point 38 Plus by Princess Auto. Yes, they paid me not to say it. They probably sent me a letter not to say it. All right, so I cut all the crap off. You see all the crap when it's over here. All right, I cut the crap off so I could make my cover plates or my block off plates because I figured that the smoke would roll back in and I could hide in the shop. Okay, so it's a simple thing. Look at the door, what a mess. All right, let's walk over here. So now I can cut my cover plates, and I also cut the hole up there for the angle pipe to be welded on. All right, so they're good to go. This plate down here will get the suction line. Okay, all right, so for covering it, and might as well put a welded threaded piece in. All right, so the simple thing is this tank came from the mine. It was used for mixing lime for the water treatment at the open pit. Okay, this open pit was supposed to last 10 years, 2 years, 2 months, and the government incentives ran out, so the mine went, how would you say, closed. Yes, now the Gong Show Mining Company is going to go mining again. Yeah, they're going to give it a try. So this tank, I sold it to a fella. I didn't give it to him, and he cut the hole and made a door. So what you did is you cut the hole out and then let the plate fall on the ground and weld the hinges on. So simple thing when I do it, I cut where the hinges are, weld the hinges on, and then cut the rest of the door. It lines up. So I had to take the door off because there was like a 2-inch lip down at the bottom here. So there's no way I'm going to cut and fit and everything like that. So I numbered all my stuff and marked the doors. Yes, so we get this back together. And so I'll get the staff to come after coffee, and we'll have to lay it on its back or to roll it around because there's lots of welding and lots of beating to get this stuff. This tank is in rough shape. Plus, when it's on its back or on its side, I can fill the holes in the floor that I cut to get rid of the water. And we'll have to do a full water test here in the kingdom because we can't take it to the staff house and fill it full of water and have it leak down the street. All right, let's go have a coffee and maybe a 7-Up too. Okay, just waiting for the staff to arrive. The smoke is staying about the same. I sure am glad I'm not at that lodge. Yes, I feel sorry for those idiots that went to a lodge. What were they thinking? Going in when there's fire evacuations and everything like that. You should have went on a cruise ship. Cruising into Alaska, enjoy the same cool weather, bugs and everything, but enjoy the good life. Now you're sitting in a boat sucking back the smoke, or you can't fly in and out. Oh well, too bad, so sad. That's why I don't refer people to the lodges. I refer them to cruise ships. All right, so we went and found a piece of curvature steel. There's actually 2 of them. They were on top of a tank. All right, so you can see where they bolted it down. So we've saved this for close to 30 years, and there's my list. All right, so we numbered it all because at my age I get confused, and we circled it. So this gets welded onto the one plate, and look at these are my templates, and we went and got a new cutoff disc. So we cut it around. So if we were to cut it straight and square patches, how much more welding? So say 3 inches this way, 3 inches that way, so that's 6 inches, 6 inches, 6 inches, 6 inches. So 4 times 6 is how much? That's a lot of extra welding. So we'll do it that way. And then here's our little plates for the door to keep the door from falling in. It's faster to chop it out because strips of steel are becoming rare in the kingdom with all these projects being fulfilled. All right, hopefully the staff shows up, and then I can finish out my day by cutting circles.
4 p.m. my dad just messaged me saying he needed my help. I think he's going to use the green toy to flip the yellow tank shed on its side so he can roll it around to weld. So I'll head over to the kingdom and give him a hand. Made it to the kingdom, and it looks like my dad has the green toy all set up. So now I'll head down to the shop and we'll hook up the chain, and then we can roll the yellow tank shed over and my dad can continue welding on it. Got the tank flipped over, no problem. Now my dad can roll it around with the mini to weld the places that he needs to. He's also going to take the plasma cutter and cut off all of this. Last thing we need is the fork to get stuck in there, or more rocks. As you can see, there is a plate on the inside here, so this is able to come off no problem. But he'll cut all this off, and then he'll go in the shop and get his plates ready for all the holes that he did. There's a hole there, the one on the top he has to cover. There's about 5 or 6 holes here that he has to fix. Plus he has to put the pipe in for all my water and everything. I'll head back into WHO-ville, and then at 6 p.m. or so I'll come back and see how my dad is doing, or if he needs me before then.
Okay, 5 o'clock, and the wind is blowing directly east, which is not good for Johnny G. Yes, we're supposed to have northeast winds, meaning they're going to blow that way. So that with Johnny G and Grief Rapids would be okay. But we got to keep working. The smoke is kind of dissipating or whatever. It's not bad. I thought it was going to rain. And the green toy looks so good with the yellow tank. I know it's yellow because everybody's told me it's yellow. All right, did not take long with the Pro Point 38 Plus from Princess Auto. I had it set at 27. I should have had it set at 26, at 2.6, yes. A vodka, oh, the memories. All right, so I wrote on the plate, it's 1/4 inches, and it's worn. Worn means that they're thick and thin, and we cut out everything. Look at that. Look at that. We cut it all out, and there's the door stoppers or whatever, and the bottom to cover up the holes on the bottom of the floor. Yes, this turned out rather well. Not much slag to remove. Chips off easy. All right, let's see if we can get this fitting welded in here. And then the boss will be pleased that we actually did something today.
6 p.m. Now I'll head over to the Kingdom and see how my dad's making out with the yellow tank shed. Looks like it's starting to get a lot windier out here, but at least it's not as smoky. I zoomed in. You can actually see the trees off into the distance. Made it to the Kingdom, and it looks like my dad is just working on all of his plates for the yellow tank shed. He's also welding a few things together as well, so I'll head back into WHO-ville and then I can make supper. It is pretty windy out here right now, so let's head in and end my day.
Okay, there we go. The boss will be impressed. We got the bottom plate, the suction line welded on. We got some protective rubber rad hose. Yes, we'll slide it over top right here to protect the threads or whatever, especially on this one here, the fill one, eh? So we got everything buffed ground, got the duct tape for tomorrow, and we have the bottom plates. We found another hole, so we actually went up to 4 instead of 3, and these are all ready for the door, and everything's good to go. All right, let's go check on the flags and see what we're doing. This is a very productive day. Okay, it's 6 o'clock and we're ready. Yes, we're ready for tomorrow. We did some buff grinding over here and over there and on the bottom. There is windy, and this is the bottom piece here, no problem. We'll just push with the loader fork right here and then do a little booger weld. We can't get too fancy cutting it or anything like that, but the bottom did wear out. Like I said, it was a mixing plant, so the mixer kind of, I would say, ate the bottom out, so they just put a plate over top. All right, let's check on the flags. It's getting windy. And the forecast is for northeast wind. That looks like it's east to me. That's not good for Johnny G. I'll email him tonight, see how he's doing. See if he's still around, or is he reefer camping at Eden Lake? Yes. All right, let's go walk the dogs, drink some 7-Up, and make a video. Hopefully the computer likes me tonight. Talk to you later.